since they are mobile in nature, the nutrient deficiency symptom will be observed in where?
Old part.
Upper part.
Since they are mobile in nature, since Dheeraj R and Hemant MJ, kindly mute your speakers. Dheeraj R. Fine. Since they are mobile in nature, the deficiency symptom is going to be observed in the older leaves. And with respect to the immobile elements, nutrient elements, the deficiency symptom is going to be observed in the younger leaves. And in today's class, we are going to know the deficiency symptom with respect to each and every essential nutrient element. And I have put some good photographs so that you can able to remember well, and also you can able to understand well exactly respective nutrient element deficiency will going to be observed in the croplands. First of all, the nitrogen, that is one of the major among the major nutrient elements. Nitrogen stand first. Say, which are all the nutrient elements that are classified under macronutrients or major nutrients?
NPK.
NPK, very good. Among these NPK, the nitrogen requirement is required at a huge quantity for crop growth. Say, among NPK, the plant requires more amount of nitrogen as compared to phosphorus and potassium. In general, all these as compared to all other nutrient elements, NPK requirement for the crop plant is more. When we look into this NPK only, among these three nutrient elements, the nitrogen requirement will be more. And what my statement is, among these three macronutrients, the nitrogen requirement is more for crop plants as compared to phosphorus and potassium. And this statement will never be holds good for all the crops. For majority of 95% of the crops, this statement will be holds good. That is, among all the existing domesticated crop plants, either it may be a cereals, either it may be a pulses, either it may be a vegetable crops, either it may be a oilseed crop, commercial crop, 90% group of the croplands require more amount of nitrogen as compared to phosphorus and potassium. Whereas the crops which belong to leguminous group, which are those? The crops which belongs to nitrogen, yes, pulse crops, groundnut, haure, French bean, green gram, black gram, red gram, any crops which are classified under leguminous crop, that are any crop which comes under a family of leguminous crop, those crops requires lesser amount of nitrogen and more amount of phosphorus and potassium. Kindly remember, those croplands which are fall under the family of the Leguminosae, those croplands requires lesser amount of nitrogen and more amount of phosphorus and potassium. Can anyone say why the leguminous group of plants requires lesser amount of nitrogen and more amount of phosphorus and potassium?
Because they
Why
can fix this nitrogen
So they can fix atmospheric nitrogen.
Okay, they will going to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. That's why we need to apply lesser amount of nitrogen, right? Fine. Other than this, any other answers? If you go for application of more amount of nitrogen to the pulse crop, what will happen? What will happen to the pulse crops?
It reflects phosphorus, sir.
Yenappa?
Sir, it inhibits the uptake of other nutrients, sir.
No. Say nitrogen is one nutrient element. If you apply optimum quantity of nitrogen, it helps in uptake of phosphorus and potassium also. Nitrogen will never inhibit any inhibition of uptake of any nutrient element. Rarely it will do that. What will happen? Anyone? See, in general, there is a one statement that is the pulses are shorter duration in nature, except red gram. Red gram, the total duration of the crop varies from 180 to 210 days, whereas all other pulses like kaure, green gram, black gram, cowpea, haure, all those pulse crops will going to be strictly mature by within 90 days. That's why I used to call it as a short duration crops. What will happen? One thing, they can able to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. That's why their nitrogen requirement of the crop is very less. We will going to think like that. Truly speaking, whatever the nitrogen that will going to be fixed by the pulse crop, that will not be available to the immediately. It will not available to the immediate crop or for standing crop. Whatever the nitrogen that is fixed by the pulse crop, that will be available for next crop only. It will never be available for the standing crop. Kindly make a clarity in your mind. Suppose, to say an example, now I am growing cowpea, and cowpea is a leguminous crop. It used to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, and I should never think that whatever the atmospheric nitrogen that is fixed in the soil or in the nodule, that will be available for the pulse crop for the growth and development. Never. That is a false. Whatever the nitrogen that is fixed, that will be available for the succeeding crop only, because that has to undergo mineralization process. Microbial breakdown is again that is required. Why the nitrogen requirement of a pulse crop is going to be lesser? Why we are recommending lesser amount of nitrogen to pulse crop means, if you go for application of more amount of nitrogen, then the vegetative phase of the pulse crop will going to be increases. Kindly make a note of it. This will be very useful information for you people. If you go for application of more amount of nitrogen to the pulse crop, it helps in unwanted vegetative growth. Say, strictly by 45 to 60 days, all the pulse crop should come for flowering. Strictly by 45 to 60 days. From flowering to 30 days, next 30 days, harvesting should be completed. Suppose if you go for application of more amount of nitrogen, instead of coming the plant to flowering during 45 to 60 days, it will postpone its flowering time to 80 to around from 60 to around 75 days. Since there is an increase in the flowering stage, postponement of a flowering stage, the duration that is required for the development of the seed. See, one thing I will going to say, from flowering to final harvesting, 1 month is required. Kindly make a note of it. From flowering to harvesting. For this matter, any crop is concerned. Either it may be a cereal, pulses, oil seed, vegetable, anything. Right from day of flowering, the next 30 days, the crop will going to be harvested. But what happened in case of pulses? Let us take an example of our that is field bean. The total duration is 90 days. The field will come to flowering around 45 days to 50 days. And it will going to be mature within 90 days. If you go for application of more amount of nitrogen, instead of flowering by 45th day, it will switch over to the around 60 days. And only another 25 days or 20 days will be available for the development of seed. And strictly, and don't think that by increasing the vegetative phase, the total duration of the crop will going to be increases. Don't think like that. Never. The total duration of the crop cannot be altered. Only in small condition, in a small scale, that may be happen due to variation in the climatic condition. That's all. Because of low temperature like that. In a normal climatic condition, If you go for application of higher amount of nitrogen to the croplands, it will going to be simply increases the vegetative phase and decreases the reproductive stage. It increases the vegetative phase and decreases the reproductive stage. Hence, we will going to record a very lesser yield in case of pulses. Basically, these pulse crops are lower in yield. If you go for applying more amount of nitrogen in a false assumption that we will going to get more yield by applying more amount of nitrogen, whatever the yield that will be expecting, that expecting yield can also be can't be obtained to the farmer. That's why you told it is a nitrogen fixing crop. Whatever the nitrogen that will going to be fixed by the false crop, that will not be available to the standing crop, that will be available to the next crop only. In order to reduce us the vegetative phase, we going to decrease the nitrogen requirement of the, we are applying very less amount of nitrogen to the crop pulse crops, because nitrogen is one nutrient element that deliberately increases the vegetative phase of the cropland. ಈಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ನೀವು ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ರೈತರು ಭತ್ತ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಕಬ್ಬು ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದಿ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ, if suppose if the growth is stunted, if they not look the dark greenish color of leaves, immediately they used to apply nitrogen, because immediately after 2 to 3 days after the application of nitrogen, the entire leaves will going to be converted into dark green color. Then the growth will going to be increases. Immediately plant height will going to be increases. Immediately leaf area increases, and immediately the succulency of the plant will going to be increases, and the plant looks very luxury growth, because it is one of the nutrient element which will going to be increases the vegetative phase of the crop. That's why kindly remember, don't apply more amount of nitrogen. Another one important general information for you people, the ideal ratio for application of fertilizer to the cereal crop, the ideal ratio for application of fertilizer to the cereal crop is 2:1:1. That is, for cereal crop, 2 part of nitrogen is required and 1 part of phosphorus and potassium is required. 2:1:1. Whereas for pulse crop, the ideal ratio for fertilizer application for any other pulse crop is 1:2:1. 1:2:1. That is, 1 part of nitrogen and potassium and 2 part of phosphorus is required for pulse crops. Why the phosphorus demand for a pulse crop is more means, all the pulse crop for that matter, they are having tap root system. Tap root system means only the vertical growth. There is no horizontal growth. And number of fibrous or the secondary and tertiary root numbers is also very less in pulses. And so that for deep root system, for the very good development of the root, phosphorus is required in a larger quantity. Hence, for all the pulse crops, we need to apply more amount of phosphorus. For rest of the crops, either cereal, either oil seed, like that, we need to go for application of more amount of nitrogen. Have you understood? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನಪ್ಪ? ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು? Why the nitrogen requirement or the nitrogen application should be less in pulse crops? Anyone?
Because it will increase the vegetative phase and decrease the reproductive phase by postponing the flowering period, sir. Hence,
Yes.
lesser will be the yield than expected.
Very good, very good. Keep it up. Then why the ratio of nitrogen should always be more for cereal crops?
So because they have the taproot system, sir.
Yeah,
For the deeper penetration, they require more.
No. You're wrong, man. Why the nitrogen ratio is 2? that is double than phosphorus and potassium for cereals? I told for pulse crops. Can you guess? Because all cereal crops are longer duration in nature, and all cereal crops except maize, all cereal crops are tillering in nature, tillering and long duration. For these two reasons, more amount of nitrogen is required for cereal crops. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನ್ರಪ್ಪ? More vegetative growth should be there for cereal crops. If there is more vegetative growth, since it is longer duration, more photosynthesis, more photosynthetic production, more source to sink ratio, and more yield will going to be obtained. As a result, the ideal ratio for NPK application for cereal is 2:1:1. Suppose, to say an example for rice crop, the RDF recommended dosage of fertilizer for rice crop is 100 kg of nitrogen, 50 kg of phosphorus, and 50 kg of potassium. To say an example, the ideal recommended dosage of fertilizer for all the pulse crop is 1:2:1. That is 25 kg of nitrogen, 50 kg of phosphorus, and 25 kg of potassium. Then we will see the role of mineral nutrient and their deficiency symptom, that is nitrogen. And nitrogen is one nutrient element which is said to be helps in the synthesis of nucleic acid for synthesis of DNA and RNA in the crop plants. The nitrogen is essential. Without synthesis of DNA and RNA, there is no mitosis and meiosis, and there is no cell division. Nothing will going to be take place. When there is no cell division, there will not be any growth. That's why if we not apply sufficient amount of nitrogen, the growth of the plant will going to be stunted. The first most important role of nitrogen is it plays an important role in synthesis of nucleoproteins or nucleic acids, that is DNA and RNA. Second is it also helps in synthesis of proteins. It is a major nutrient element because for amino acids, they are considered as the building blocks of proteins, right? For the amino acids, the nitrogen is very much essential. If there is no sufficient amount of nitrogen, there will not be any formation of amino acids. When there is no amino acid formation, then there will not be a formation of protein molecule. The third one important role is the synthesis of chlorophyll molecule. The chlorophyll is chlorophyll is nothing but a green pigment in the plant system which involved in photosynthesis. Without photosynthesis, the plant cannot survive because there will not be any preparation of food. And nitrogen is said to be one of the important elements which helps in the synthesis of chlorophyll pigment, which helps in photosynthesis process. Then it also involved in the synthesis of non-protein nitrogenous compounds like alkaloids. Example, nicotine, caffeine. If you go for tobacco, the alkaloid that is present is nicotine. And if you go for coffee, caffeine. All these alkaloids, see, these alkaloids will going to be increases the value of that particular crops, especially the commercial crops and commercial and plantation crop. The entire commercial and plantation crops is depend upon the alkaloid content. Suppose if there is no alkaloid content in those commercial crops, then the crops will not be having any industrial importance. And if you go for application of more amount of nitrogen, the nicotine content in tobacco will going to be increases, and the caffeine content will going to be increases. Then another important thing is essential for carbohydrate utilization within the plants. See, the final product of photosynthesis is carbohydrate synthesis. Once that carbohydrate synthesis is utilized for the development of dry matter content in the plant system, that dry matter content will going to decide the yield of the crop. More, if you want any crop is said to be a high yielding crop, that crop should have higher dry matter content. That higher dry matter content is due to more amount of carbohydrate synthesis and utilization. Then another one important thing is it encourages or it increases the vegetative growth. And must and should you have to write this point when they ask for exam. Because nitrogen is only the one nutrient element which can able to increase the vegetative phase of the crop. No other nutrient can able to perform this function. Arthaita? Nitrogen, this is the first foremost point you have to write in your exam if they ask the role of nutrients, nitrogen. Then another important is this performance, this role cannot be performed by any other essential nutrient element. That is, application of optimum amount of nitrogen can able to give a deep dark green color to the leaves. It helps in buildup of dark green color in the leaves. That's why if farmer in his cropland, if the crop shows any light yellowish color, then immediately they start applying the nitrogen, because yellowing is one color that is highly misassumption in the all the minds, not only in farmers, even students, even in scientists. It will give many interpretations. That's why no one wants to see the croplands with yellow color. Everyone used to see the croplands with dark greenish color, and that green color will tell about the healthiness of the croplands, and that can only be given by this nitrogen nutrient element. And as compared to all the essential nutrients, that is macro, secondary, and micronutrients, nitrogen used to perform many number of functions. Its role is even in genomic level, the nitrogen play an important role. The nitrogen content in the croplands, it used to perform more function that cannot be performed by any other nutrient element. That's why the nitrogen is considered as a king of nutrient element to the croplands. Nitrogen is considered as a king of nutrient element. And one more, these are all the functions and advantages. Another one disadvantage is, suppose as a scientist, I tell you, for you people to go for application of 100 kg of nitrogen to grow rice in 1 hectare area. Suppose if you go for application of more amount of nitrogen compared to 100 kg, that is, if you go for 125 kg of nitrogen or 150 kg of nitrogen, then the plant height suddenly increases, and the entire plant become very succulent. Succulent means the water content in the cell sap will going to be increases. That will attracts more fungal and pest, more diseases and pest and diseases incidence will going to be increases, and more lodging will going to be takes place. That's why the recommended dose of nitrogen only should be applied. The over application of nitrogen will always be having its own problem. Artha aita the functions of nitrogen in croplands? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನ್ರಪ್ಪ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರೇನ್ರಪ್ಪ? ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ CM 0008.
Yes, sir.
The role
Sir,
or functions of nitrogen in croplands, helma.
Sir, it is involved in synthesis of nucleoproteins. It is involved in
Okay.
synthesis of chlorophyll.
Very good. chlorophyll pigment. Then
It is involved in synthesis of non-protein compounds like alkaloids.
okay. Then
Sir, it enhances vegetative growth of crops.
certainly it will going to enhance the vegetative growth of croplands. Then hmm. Anyone to add some more
Sir,
point?
Sir, it promotes turgidity.
What? It promotes?
Turgidity, sir.
Then it helps in giving the dark color to the leaves, and also it involves in the synthesis of proteins. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? These are all the various the importance or roles of nitrogen in croplands. Then suppose if any cropland, whenever we going to apply optimum amount of nitrogen, then only the crop will function, or then only the nitrogen will function. All this function or all this role in croplands. If we not apply sufficient amount of nitrogen, then all these function will going to be altered. Okay. Once, suppose if you go for application of nitrogen in optimum amount, then only the nitrogen can able to perform all the roles, or else certainly all the functions in the croplands will going to be altered. Finally, the crop growth and development will going to be decreases, and the yield of the cropland will going to be decreases. Then, if you see the deficiency symptom of nitrogen, the first most characteristic deficiency symptom of nitrogen in crop plant is dechlorosis. That is yellowing of leaves in the older leaves. Why it will be observed only in older leaves? Because it is a mobile nutrient element, highly mobile. Among all the mobile nutrient element, the nitrogen is said to be one nutrient element which is highly mobile in nature. That's why the yellowing of leaves will going to be observed very first in the older leaves. Then suppose still after the characteristic symptom of the yellowing of leaves, if we not taken a suitable correction measures in case of croplands, then the entire leaves in the plant will going to show the yellowing, and finally because of the divide of the chlorophyll pigment, the entire plant will going to be die. The yellowing of leaves, the loss of proteins, nitrogen from chloroplast in older leaves, and the entire under severe deficiency, the lower leaves turn brown and die. Complete chlorosis leads to premature falling of leaves. And another characteristic after yellowing, the premature falling of leaves will going to be takes place. Then the necrosis. What is the meaning of chlorosis and necrosis? What is the meaning of chlorosis and necrosis? Hello? ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ರಪ್ಪ.
Sir, in necrosis, leaf is completely dead, sir.
Yes. In necrosis, it will not confine to any age of the leaves. Either it may be older leaves or either it may, the yellowing will start from the tip of the leaves. And immediately after the showing of a yellowing symptom, then it will start dying. The burning symptom will going to be observed in leaves. That is called as necrosis, and at the final stage of necrosis, it leads to scorching. Entire leaves will become dry. Then finally, when there is no nitrogen, the stunted growth will going to be observed. One is the deficiency symptom is, see here in this figure, you can observe how we can able to differentiate the deficiency symptom of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and as compared to the normal condition. See here, in normal nutrient required uptake by leaves, there is no any burning of tip or burning of margin, leaf margin, or there is no loss of chlorophyll pigment. The entire leaves looks very greenish in color. Whereas in case of nitrogen, see here, the entire leaves will become yellowish in color. That is called as chlorosis. One thing you can observe, there is no spots on the leaves. There is no spots on the leaves. That's what I told you. That's what I discussed in the last class. If you want to see this is the nutrient deficiency, there should be a chlorosis without any bacterial spots or fungal spots, and also there will not be any damage. The physical damage will not be there on any leaves. Only the loss of chlorophyll pigment and the development of xanthophyll pigment, that is called as yellow color, then that is called as dechlorosis. Then phosphorus, in this figure, strictly speaking, phosphorus deficiency is not given very clearly. I will show you in the next figure, where I will show now itself. See here, this is the beauty. One can able to identify the phosphorus deficiency very clear, and the characteristic blue purplish color will going to be developed on the leaves. See, this is the maize crop first, this is the maize crop, and this is the knoll cole, cabbage, and this is guava. In guava plant, you can identify the phosphorus deficiency very clearly. It's and dark purplish, and sometime it will come to red color like that. This is the characteristic symptom of phosphorus. See here, another figure. You can observe the difference between no nitrogen applied treatment with comfortably applied nutrient. The optimum recommended dose of nitrogen is applied. See, no single leaves in the plant will show the yellowish color. The treatment with nitrogen. Whereas the treatment with non-nitrogen application, the plant growth is stunted very much. And all the lower leaves, you can observe here, lower leaves completely devoid of chlorophyll pigment, and there will be development of xantho, that is yellow pigment. The entirely the crop growth and development will going to be affected. This is all about the deficiency symptom of nitrogen. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನ್ರಪ್ಪ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Adarsh 0004.
Yes, sir.
Can you able to repeat the deficiency symptom of nitrogen?
Okay, sir. Sir, yellowing of the leaf
Elli. In which leaves?
at the bottom of the leaves, sir. Older leaves.
At the older leaves. Why not
sir.
in younger leaves?
Because nitrogen is a mobile, sir.
Yes. Then
And
at severe stage,
at severe stage, it turns brown color, sir.
brown color, and
And the leaf will die, sir.
scorching and premature falling of leaves will going to be takes place. Then
And stunted growth of the plant, sir.
the overall growth of the plant will going to be stunted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is all about the functions and also the role and deficiency of nitrogen in croplands. Then we'll see the role of phosphorus in croplands. And role of phosphorus. And phosphorus, among the major nutrient element, the second most important nutrient element for the crop growth and development is phosphorus. It is also plays a significant role. And I already told, as per the criteria of essential nutrient element, the function of one nutrient element cannot be performed by the another nutrient element. Somewhere around 5 to 10%, the one nutrient element may perform the role of other nutrient element also, but not its 100%. Each and every nutrient element is perform their own physiological function and metabolic function in the crop plants. And first most important thing I want to make a note in your mind, that is phosphorus is considered as energy currency of crop plants or energy currency in cells. Kindly make a note of it. Phosphorus is considered as energy currency. Energy currency. If you not go for application of sufficient amount of phosphorus to the croplands, then there will not be any energy in the croplands. No doubt, nitrogen may give some amount of energy, but actually the phosphorus is required for development of different organs. The nitrogen can increases the overall vegetative growth, but for the development of flower, fruit, and also for the root, the phosphorus is very much important. And for the development of cell and mitosis, and also for meiosis in the cell, and also overall cell division, the phosphorus is required very much as compared to nitrogen. That's why the phosphorus is considered as energy currency of cell or energy currency of the crop plants. Phosphorus has a great role in energy storage and transfer. Energy, it helps in transfer of energy from one part of the plant to the another part of the plant, from leaves to root, from leaves to developing flower, from leaves to developing fruit. It will be keep on transferring of energy. Energy in terms of what is the energy of crop plants? How best you can understand the term energy in crop plants?
In ATP form.
Very good, madam. Keep it up. Your good name?
Bhavana HS.
Very good, madam. You can take 1 marks bonus at the time
you,
of
sir.
final internalization. Energy is nothing but ATP. What is the meaning of ATP?
Adenosine
Adenosine
triphosphate.
Triphosphate.
Phosphate. The phosphate name indicates the phosphorus. That is the energy currency of the cell or the whole plant. And it is a constant of nucleic acid, phytin, and phospholipids. As like of nitrogen, the phosphorus is also one of the constant of the nucleic acid, that is RNA and DNA. Apart from that, the phytin and phospholipids for the production, the phosphorus is very, very, very much important. What is the meaning of phytin? What is the meaning of phytin? How best you can able to understand the term phytin?
Sir, phytin is a pigment, sir. Like it helps in electron transfer in Z and Z system and that's cyclic system in photosystems.
Cyclic photophosphorylation.
Yes, sir.
That's also okay. Another important thing, no one wants you have to remember phytin means it is just like a protein which is present in the fruits and also in the flowers. For the entire development of fruit and flower, the phytin is very much essential. I will tell you in the later part, right? Then phytin and phospholipids. Then phosphate compounds acts as an energy currency within the plants. Then another most important, one of the characteristic feature of the phosphorus, very, 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 very much important. It is early root development and growth. See, phosphorus always, the entire phosphorus requirement or phosphorus fertilizer should be applied at the time of sowing only. There is no split application of phosphorus. Always we need to apply the entire recommended dose of phosphorus to the crop plants at the time of sowing only, because phosphorus is the only nutrient element which can able to increases the growth and development, that too during the initial stage of the crop. Immediately after the germination, the plumule and radicle will going to be emerged from the seed. For radicle, that is root part, for the growth and early growth and development, for that root part, the phosphorus is the only nutrient element that will going to be supported. That's why even calcium is also increases the root growth and development, not in the early stage, but it will be in the later stage of the crop plant. Immediately after the germination of seed, the early root growth and development will be taken care by the phosphorus. That's why the phosphorus should be applied only at the time of sowing. Suppose if any farmer can't able to apply the phosphorus at the time of sowing, can we recommend that farmer to apply the phosphorus after 30 days or after 45 days? Hello? Speak out.
No, sir.
Hello?
Sir, we won't recommend.
Hey, yes, we should not recommend, because even after 30 days or 35 days, even if you go for application of phosphorus, that phosphorus will just remain in the soil in a fixation form. That phosphorus will never be uptaken by the crop plants. Simply, it will be over dumping of phosphorus into the soil. Always we need to apply without miss the phosphatic fertilizer at the time of sowing only. Then another important thing is the phosphorus, it gives a rapid and vigorous start to plants, strengthens the straw and decreases the lodging tendency. If you go for application of excess amount of nitrogen, what it leads? It will leads to lodging. But if we go for optimum application of phosphorus or more amount of phosphorus, it will give resistance to the crop plant against the lodging. it is going to strengthen the stem part of the plant, and it will never allow the crop plants for lodging. It will never allow a crop plant for lodging.
Excuse me,
It increases. ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ ಇನ್ನು 30 days ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಯೂಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? ಸೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಯಾಕಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್? ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಅದು?
Say there is a problem with phosphorus fertilizer or phosphorus nutrition is, if you go for application of 100 kg of phosphorus fertilizer, the plant will take only 16 kg of phosphorus only from 100 kg, because of two reasons. The after 15 days after the germination of the crop, the response of the crop plant for the absorption of the phosphorus is very, very low. Even if you go and dump the phosphorus, the plant will never touch that phosphorus, because at that time the early growth and development would have completed in the roots in the crop plant. Early growth and development of roots in the crop plant will be over. Only whatever the new roots that are germinated from the seed, those roots are highly vigorous to absorb the phosphorus. After that, the root growth and development will be take care of the other nutrient element like calcium. That's why I told, for root growth and development, two important nutrient element is required. One is phosphorus and calcium. For early root growth and development, phosphorus is required, and for later growth of the growth and development of the root, the calcium is required. Panukumaras. And after 15 days, the roots of the crop plant will loses their sensitivity for the absorption of the phosphorus. They will never involve in the absorption of phosphorus. That's why we always used to apply the phosphatic fertilizer only at the time of sowing. Artha aita?
Yes sir, thank you sir.
Okay. Then another important point is grain to straw ratio. What is the meaning of this grain to straw ratio? What is the
Straw.
ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ?
Number of grains per straw, sir.
Okay. See, grain to straw ratio is always more in cereal as compared to pulses. That is, suppose if you grow 100 kg of biomass, from that 100 kg of biomass, how much grains will economic part will going to be obtained? That is called as grain to straw ratio. Suppose if we want to increase our economical grain part in any cereal, we need to go for proper application of fertilizer, phosphatic fertilizer with adequate quantity. Then only the number of grains per plant will going to be increases. That is called as the grain to straw ratio. Then another is the large quantity of phosphorus are found in seed and fruit, and it is considered after the fertilization in the flowers, the seed will start forming. For that proper development of ovule in the seed, the phosphorus requirement is very much essential. For a complete development, 100% development of the seed, phosphorus is very, very much important. Then another is the supply of phosphorus improve the quality of certain fruit, forage, vegetable and grain crops. It also acts as a quality nutrient element. But as compared to phosphorus, the most important quality nutrient element is potassium. But whereas phosphorus is also helps in increases the quality of fruit, flowers and vegetables and also the grains. These are the functions that will going to be performed by the phosphorus in croplands. Can anyone able to explain the role of phosphorus in croplands? Bhumika 0036.
Sir,
Tell me, madam.
it acts as energy currency of plants and in cells
Yes,
and has great role in energy storage and transfer,
very good.
and acts it stimulates early root development and growth, and it increases grain to straw ratio
It
and
increases grain to straw ratio.
strengthens straw and decreases lodging tendency.
Very good. It decreases the lodging.
Lodging.
Okay.
And
It also helps in synthesis of nucleoproteins, phytins.
like and phospholipids.
Very good. These are the various characteristic features that will going to be performed by the phosphorus crop. Madam, you need a bonus marks?
Yes, sir.
Surely we will going to get.
Thank you, sir.
Then deficiency symptom of phosphorus in plants. See, you can see these figures, these are the characteristic color that will going to depict or represent the deficiency of phosphorus in the croplands. One is, as I told, if you not apply sufficient amount of nitrogen, there will not be a early growth and development of the roots. Once there is no root growth and development, there will not be any uptake of sufficient amount of nutrients and water. When there is no sufficient amount of water and nutrients are taken by the croplands, invariably we can't expect the optimum growth. The growth will found to be very stunted, and there will be reduction in the branches in the croplands. Suppose to say an example, in cereals, in case of rice, there will not be branches, but the tillering will going to be reduces. There will not be any branches in the rice crop, but we will say that branching habit in rice crop we will say as tillering. That tillering will going to be reduces. Tillering is nothing but that is the secondary and tertiary plant that will going to be arises from the main plant. Suppose if you plant a single seedling of rice, it will after 25 to 30 days, it will give rises to a numerous number of secondary and tertiary plants. One will going to be multiplied as 15 or 20 number of plants. That is called as tiller. The tillering capacity or branching will going to be decreases. Then in general, in P deficient plants, the plant become very, very thin, erect. Erect is nothing but because of the decrease in the number of branches and splinty with sparse and restricted foliage. There will be very, very less number of leaves will be attached to the stem. And another characteristic feature is bluish green foliage. Bluish green foliage. That is, the entire leaves will, especially the lower leaves, will show the bluish color. Later, it will bluish purple and reddish purple tips will going to be developed on the lower leaves of the plant. See, in Goa, it is more common, the phosphorus deficiency. You can able, now onwards, you can able to identify in Goa plant in your nearby your home or nearby in your farmland, like that. It's a very, very, this symptoms are more common. That is bluish purple or reddish purple leaves, and also along the margins and also the leaves. This is the characteristic deficiency symptom of the phosphorus. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನ್ರಪ್ಪ?
Yes, sir.
Chetan R, 0045. ಚೇತನ ಮಲ್ಗಿದ್ಯಾ ಚಿನ್ನ? ಬಂಗಾರು ಎದೋಳಪ್ಪ.
No, sir.
ಎದ್ದಿದ್ಯಾ?
Yes, sir.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಹಂಗಾರೆ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ.
Yes, sir.
ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್. ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ ಆಫ್
Sir, stunt plant growth.
ಏನೇನಪ್ಪ?
Stunt plant growth.
ಸ್ಟಂಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್.
Stunt plant growth.
ಹಾ, ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ಟಂಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್?
Sir, plant development ಕಡಿಮೆ.
ಅದೇ ಏನಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ? ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಯಾಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ? ಸ್ಟಂಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ? ಹೋಲಿ ಬಿಡು, ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳು. ಸ್ಟಂಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್.
Sir, bluish green color ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Leaves, sir.
ಬ್ಲೂಯಿಶ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್, ಬ್ಲೂಯಿಶ್ ಪರ್ಪಲ್,
Bluish green foliage.
ರೆಡ್ಡಿಶ್ ಪರ್ಪಲ್.
Yes, sir.
ಹಾ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಗರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್, ಪಿಂಕ್ ಕಲರ್ ಐತೆ.
Yes, sir. Reddish purple.
ಹಾ?
Reddish
ಪರ್ಪಲ್
purple.
ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ?
Yes, sir.
ರೆಡ್ಡಿಶ್ ಪರ್ಪಲ್. ಯಾಕೋ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲನಾ?
Sir, ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆದ್ರೂ
ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ
ಹೇಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ.
sir.
ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಿಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ರಪ್ಪ ಹುಡುಗ್ರು? ಓಕೆ, ಫೈನ್. ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ವಿತ್ ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಷಿಯಂ. Shall I continue? Since you don't have any class.
ಸರ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬೇರೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
I will complete the potassium. Now, anyone in the class, tell me one important characteristics function with respect to nitrogen.
Vegetative growth.
Very good, very good, very good. Vegetative growth. Then phosphorus.
Early root development.
Early root development.
Very, very good. Early root growth and development. Then another important characteristic feature of potassium is one, the potassium is considered as a quality nutrient element. Potassium is, say, phosphorus is considered as currency, energy currency, but potassium is considered quality nutrient element. ಯಾಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? It will going to increases the quality of the fruit. ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? Quality of the fruit ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? Either in terms of color, either in terms of sweetness, and also it will going to give sufficient shape, color, shape to the fruit, like that. Another important thing with respect to potassium is it will going to give a resistance for the crop plants. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಷಿಯಂ ಹಾಕಿ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಪೆರೆನಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಫಾರ್ ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್, the recommendation of potassium is more, because if you apply more amount of nitrogen beyond the optimum quantity, then that will going to increases the pest and diseases. If you go for application
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.